Hello friends, this is Major General Neelendra Kumar speaking for the channel Lex Concilium Foundation for the playlist Nurturing Smart Teachers. Today I am in conversation with Professor Dr. Rose Varghese. She is the head of the School of Law at the KIIT University at Bhubaneswar. She comes with the rich experience of almost 5 decades of law teaching. She is herself eminently qualified, and her special interest and exposure has been to teaching of law of crimes. And therefore, the subject of law of crimes for the playlist Nurturing Smart Teachers has been assigned to her. She has been especially selected and requested to talk to the viewers who are aspiring teachers or the existing teachers who have a desire to improve. Now, with that background, my first question to you is, do I call you as Rose? Is that fine? My first question to you, Rose, is that what is the significance, relevance of law of crime, and how is its teaching different than, say, taxation or family law or the marriage laws?
Sir, even today, crimes are on the increase. Day in and day out, you hear of alarming reports of crimes happening. It is not only the increase in crimes which is shocking the conscience of society, but the manner in which it is being perpetrated. If you ask me about taxation laws or personal laws, you will see that its effect as against the impact crimes have on the entire society is so different. Today, I feel that because of the manner in which these crimes are increasing day in and day out, in spite of the Nirbhaya case and the following cases, it's again, I think, parliamentarians, members of the legislature, the judiciary should again draw their attention to the topic of law of crimes. Because it's not just bringing out laws, but to see that the position remains almost the same. I would say that every student of criminal law, I tell my students, when I enter the class, I first tell them, don't come to my class because the Bar Council wants 70% attendance or the university wants 75% attendance. I taught at the 5 batches of the National Law School when it started. Since then, I was repeating this in my class at the outset. Even when I was the Vice-Chancellor of the National Law School in Kochi, I told them, if you're coming for attendance, I will mark you. You may leave after that. Because I want each of you to be sensitized to what is happening in our society. You can't be a law student and be passive onlookers to all that's happening in our society. Now, if you ask me how I would start my class, you introduce me as a person having taught criminal law. I would start by telling my students, when you talk of law, criminal law, what all comes in the ambit of criminal law? It's not just the Indian Penal Code or the Criminal Procedure Code or the evidence law, and the nomenclature has changed now. You need to know as law students what all in fact comes into the ambit of criminal law. I would say IPC, CRPC and evidence is one fact. But you also need to know there are umpteen other legislations. You need to know the special legislations also. Special laws, you know it, sir, we have, TADA is repealed, POTA then, UAPA, and then we have the Indecent Representation of Women Act, Prevention of Immoral Trafficking in Women, Dowry Prohibition Act. Juvenile Justice Act, this one, recently, NDPS, very important law, Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act.
So I will just stop, make a point here, that when you say that the crimes have changed, do you mean to say the number of crimes has increased, or the enormity or gravity or manner of doing crimes has changed?
That is exactly what I said at the outset, the manner.
Yes.
The manner in which it's being perpetrated.
Okay.
Each day you can see a new form, a new kind of crime. I'll be going to it a little later. The Criminal Law Amendment of 2013 had to add new crimes into it.
Okay. So therefore, your advice to the law teachers, as you were continuing.
Yes. Rather, I was thinking I'm talking to students of
Yes,
criminal law.
yes.
You know, when I teach even to the law, talk to law teacher,
Yes.
I'm thinking I'm talking to my students
Yes.
of law. And I tell my teachers, tell them that they are here in the classroom not because of attendance. You have to be sensitized. As a law student, you have to be sensitized to the crimes in our society. You cannot remain as passive onlookers, look at the newspaper, read about a crime, and move on to look at what was the cricket score. I tell my students to fall in love with your subject. Fall in love with the subject. Have a passion for your subject. Why? I'll take you to that, sir. When we talk of special laws, while teaching law, don't ignore that. Because the new special laws which have come about are so relevant, like the NDPS. You have students of law, young students, already moving on to drugs. They never realize, once they become addicted to drugs, they would never realize that with that, their physical and mental faculties will be destroyed. Their career is destroyed. This is only one example. I'm telling you one special law. But I'm trying to speak about the students or teachers themselves having a passion for the subject, being sensitized to the subject. Now, if I'm to move on, a teacher of criminal law should not stop with mentioning that we have the Indian Penal Code, the CRPC, the evidence, and the special law. They have to take students to what is criminology. You cannot be a good law teacher or a judge one day if you don't know what is criminology. Why do we have crimes? Because we are trying to address the problem of crimes. Why are there crimes in society? It could be social reasons. It could be psychological reasons, economic reasons. What is it? Because we have to address the issue. And if crimes are again and again increasing, we have to go to the question of why crime in our society. That is what criminology deals with.
What leads to increase in the number of crimes?
Yes.
Okay.
Why is it increasing day in and day out?
Okay.
You have to address that issue. And if you have a whole range of laws of how to deal with it, it doesn't solve our problem actually. We have to go into what is the problem in our society? Why is it that we have so much of crimes? What are the reasons for criminality? I will take an example, sir. If a 5-year-old child, from his childhood, at this age, he's every day watching his father coming home drunk and beating up the child. Beating up, and then the mother. Pulling the mother's hair, dragging her down, kicking her because he's drunk. This 5-year-old child watches this. He's watching his own mother being beaten up. You know, sir, he would want to beat up the father. But he's only 5. He will hold his,
Pillow.
And he will just put his hands at the back. He wants to beat, but he cannot. He knows he cannot beat his father. Sir, believe me, this child will grow up to be a criminal. I won't call him a criminal. He will grow up to have criminal tendencies. Sure. Because he has suppressed his emotions. He wanted to beat, but he knows he cannot. So what he will do is just hold back, his tension, and he will take it on others when he grows up. When he starts going to school, if you observe this child, he will be beating up his classmates. For small reasons, he'll pick up a fight, and he will beat his classmates. You even hear nowadays of students beating up the teacher. All the kinds of strikes in colleges. I would say there is a reason for criminality. There's a reason why he turned to be a criminal. Now, the mother will tell him, he'll say, I'm hungry. The mother will be crying after all the beating. She will say, Kuch nahi hai, there's no food. There's no food in the house. Go and sleep. Tomorrow I'll try to get something. Next day, the father repeats the story. 10 days, this child will stay hungry. On the 11th day, even if I was the child, I'll go to a bakery and steal a loaf of bread. Do you agree with me, sir? Because that you can stay 10 days without food. That too, I don't believe a child, but on the 11th day, the child would react.
I have a question here. You see, we in the law teaching, particularly at the undergraduate level, the syllabus, the courses, they are laid down by the regulator,
Bar
the
Council
Bar Council of India. Now, you as the director or as the Vice-Chancellor, as the subject matter expert, you are expected also to say that within so many sessions, finish this entire thing, whether you have to cover the entire Indian Penal Code or coupled with the Official Secret Act or Prevention of Corruption Act, whatever.
Sure.
So, how, in case if the reasons for crime in society
is taken up in detail.
Yes, does it form part of that law of crime?
I will take you to that, sir. I was telling you that I'm going to take my introductory class.
Yes. So this is necessary to lay the foundation.
Yes. In my introductory class, if I go to the class and say, I'll be taking law of crimes.
Okay.
Now, Lord Macaulay in 1860 brought out the Indian Penal Code, which has 511 sections. Now, the new law has 398 sections. No, I will not tell them that on the first day of my class.
So this is part of that foundation.
Yes. And Bar Council has given us a syllabus, no doubt. They have to draw out a framework. But academic autonomy they've given us to include what is essential. And this will not drag on throughout the session.
Yes, of course.
I will only tell this in my introductory. One. That's why I won't move further.
Yes.
I was only going to tell you this child would steal a loaf of bread, and if the Juvenile Justice Act now takes care of it, now it's called the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection Act.
Yeah.
But otherwise, when the child is caught stealing, the police would catch the boy. Come on, and take him off to jail. Now we have the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection Act. That's why I was saying you should initially tell the students of law that it's not only these three codes, but we have other relevant special legislation.
Yes,
so in the first class, we give an overview of criminal law. That's what I meant by...
Quite right.
Yes, it's my introductory class.
Yes.
Now you sort of got an idea about criminology. Now, what do you do with these crimes? How do you address these crimes? Now you talk of punishing the criminal. Yes. That is where I would tell you at the outset, first day of your class, also tell them about penology. What is penology? For criminology, we ask the question, why crime in society? For penology, we will ask the question, why punish? Why you punish? What is it you want to get out of punishment? You have to serve your purpose, your objective. What is the ultimate objective? We want peace and law and order in society.
Yes, harmony.
Harmony, exactly.
Yes.
Is that happening? So, why are you punishing? Is it like an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth? So it's a retributive attitude? Or to prevent crime, long incarceration, go to the behind the bars, not this bar, they would be happy to go there, but go into jail,
Right.
incarceration? Or is it because you're also trying to punish and reform the criminal? Anyway,
Okay.
what is the objective of punishment? Tell them just what is penology all about. Just asking yourself the question, why punish? Then
Okay.
there is something called victimology. Ultimately, who wants justice? All these laws are for justice.
Yes.
Who needs it? The victim.
Okay.
The victim may not be the immediate victim, the girl who is raped. Her parents are also victims. What do you do? What is the justice the victim receives? A girl will go and report at the police station, or she may be shy. Her parents may go and report that my daughter was raped. They will tell her, they will tell the parents, now don't take law into your own hands, go on. The criminal justice system will do the needful. Now the students of law at the outset should know what do we mean by criminal justice system and criminal justice administration. Because you have to look at the crime from the victim's angle, from the victim's perspective. A person, a girl who is raped, or a husband who was murdered, the wife should get justice. When she is reporting, she is told, you don't do anything about it. Her brothers will come with sleeves folded. Come on, we are going to beat up that man. The police will tell them, you don't take law into your own hands. We will take care of it. Now, who are these we? When we talk of the criminal justice system or criminal justice administration, who are the actors on a criminal justice stage? You imagine we are enacting a play, a crime scene. Who are the actors on the stage? We have a victim, we have an accused person who has committed the crime. Now, initially, we don't call him a criminal. We can only address him as an accused person.
Suspect or accused?
Accused. Because we are only suspecting him. Or we are accusing him of the crime. And in this background, teachers of law, students of law should know that in India, we follow the adversarial system, the accusatorial system.
Okay, we would stop here, Rose. We have moved up to the stage of the principal actors or the agents involved in a crime. Yes. And of course, you started with the background, why the crimes are there, and how should the faculty sort of proceed. And we will continue this dialogue in the next session.
Sure.